The Property Bulletin by London Property, the home of superprime.
Proposed changes to UK mortgage regulations could reshape the housing market, easing barriers for first-time buyers while raising questions about financial stability. The Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, plans to revise strict post-2008 rules to improve access to home ownership, a move welcomed by many but cautiously viewed by others. Since the 2008 financial crisis, stringent lending rules have governed the UK mortgage market, ensuring stability but limiting access for prospective buyers. Many struggle with high deposit requirements and income-based lending caps. The FCA aims to revise these restrictions, promoting responsible risk-taking by revisiting affordability criteria and reducing overlapping standards, such as those in the Mortgage Charter. Matt Smith, a mortgage expert at Rightmove, stressed the need for reform. Lenders have introduced innovative products to support buyers, but regulatory backing is essential to provide more options and opportunities for those entering the market. While these proposals could help first-time buyers, they also highlight potential risks. Affordability gaps. Zupa's Richard Donnell noted the stark north-south divide in housing affordability, warning that reforms might disproportionately benefit certain regions. Wage disparity. Mike Staton of Staton Mortgages pointed out that house price growth has long outpaced wage increases, calling for broader measures to keep first-time buyers in the market. Industry leaders are urging targeted reforms to avoid unintended consequences, such as heightened market volatility. The FCA is engaging with stakeholders to ensure the proposals balance consumer benefits with financial stability. A surge in wealthy individuals leaving the UK due to tax regime changes is causing ripples across industries like luxury retail, high-end property, and private education. Sophia Hirsch of Hirsch London, a high-end jeweller, expressed concerns about the future of her business amid the changes to the UK's non-domiciled, non-dom tax rules. If the wealthy leave, so does their spending power, she said, noting a shift toward international expansion. Melina Fenby of Maya Magal echoed these worries, highlighting the loss of high-spending clients. Retailers are already grappling with challenges such as the end of tax-free shopping for tourists and declining sales in the luxury sector. The ultra-prime housing market, homes priced above £15 million, saw a 25% drop in sales and a 34% decline in property value in 2024. Paul Finch of Beecham Estates linked this to wealthy individuals relocating to tax-friendly hubs like Dubai and Monaco. Henley & Partners reported that the UK lost a record 10,800 millionaires in 2024, further straining London's high-end real estate market. The revised non-dom regime, which limits tax relief to the first 4 years of UK residence, is also impacting sectors like art, private wealth management and education. Charlotte Stewart of My Art Broker warned that inheritance tax changes are discouraging wealthy families, while Mark Ackerson of Utmost Wealth Solutions predicted a knock-on effect on private schools, which recently faced VAT imposition. Lawyer Matthew Sperry questioned the long-term viability of the UK's private wealth industry, traditionally a global hub for high-net-worth clients. Industry leaders like Hirsch are urging the government to reconsider. We should encourage wealth creation and international investment, she said. Without changes, the UK risks further economic strain as the affluent relocate and their contributions diminish. Landlords are expected to raise rents well above inflation over the next year, as the government's Renters' Rights Bill nears final approval, a key industry figure has warned. The bill aims to reshape the private rental sector with measures such as ending no-fault eviction notices, banning bidding wars for tenancies, capping advance rent demands to 1 month's rent, abolishing fixed-term tenancies, supporting tenants in contesting unreasonable rent increases. While housing campaigners and charities have welcomed the reforms, landlords argue they could have severe financial consequences. Chris Norris, Policy Director at the National Residential Landlords Association, NRLA, predicts landlords will adjust rents to account for added risks and costs. This could result in rent hikes significantly above headline inflation. He expressed concerns over the removal of fixed-term tenancies and the end of no-fault evictions, which he says reduce certainty for landlords. Tenants could leave early and will lose mechanisms to end failing tenancies, Norris explained. The NRLA estimates that up to 30% of its members may sell off parts of their property portfolios due to the reforms. Pro-renter groups have countered these warnings, arguing the bill addresses long-standing imbalances in the private rental market. Paul Shanks of the Renters Reform Coalition criticised landlords for threatening rent increases, noting that most landlords have minimal debt. He also cited research showing 2/3 of working renters are struggling to pay rent. Data from the Office for National Statistics showed private rental prices grew 9.1% year-on-year in November 2024, following an 8.7% rise in October. As the Renters' Rights Bill progresses, it highlights a growing divide between landlords and tenants over the future of the private rental sector. Property Mark's consultation response has been pivotal in the Welsh Government's decision to retain multiple dwelling relief, MDR, ensuring continued support for housing supply and vulnerable tenants. Welsh Finance Secretary Mark Drakeford announced that while rules for MDR will change under the new Land Transaction Tax Regulations effective 7th of February 2025, the relief itself will not be abolished. Property Mark and other stakeholders had warned that removing MDR could increase costs for businesses entering or expanding in the private rented sector, lead to higher rents as landlords pass on increased tax costs, and reduce overall housing supply. The Welsh Government acknowledged these concerns, opting to adjust rather than eliminate MDR, making Wales more competitive in comparison to England's tax regime. The upcoming changes will prevent MDR claims on transactions subject to the Land Transaction Tax, LTT, main residential rates, if the subsidiary dwelling exception, SDE, applies. The SDE concerns purchases of a main dwelling and additional dwellings, e.g. homes with annexes, in a single transaction. While the impact is expected to be minimal, affecting approximately 400 transactions annually from 55,000 LTT transactions, the changes are projected to increase LTT revenues by £1 to £2 million annually. Property Mark continues to advocate for tax reforms that support the private rental sector, including a review of all property taxes affecting landlords by UK and devolved governments, reinstating mortgage interest relief phased out under Section 24 of the Finance Act 2015, reducing higher LTT rates on residential properties in Wales to stimulate investment. This decision to maintain MDR reflects the Welsh Government's recognition of its importance in bolstering housing supply and affordability while balancing tax revenue growth. Property Mark will continue to push for reforms to ensure a thriving and accessible rental market.
Subscribe to our newsletter to receive our weekly bulletins and stay ahead of what's shaping the super prime property market.